Senator, again, I very much appreciate you bringing up my comments from 2013, because for me, this issue has always been about standards. And unfortunately, because of some of the people that have been in political power for the last 4 years, priorities other than standards, lethality, and meritocracy.
So please explain these types of statements, because they're brutal and they're mean. And they disrespect men and women who are willing to die.
Yes or no? What are you afraid of? You can't answer this question. Yes or no, did you lead an audit? Do you not know this answer?
Senator, every part of my leadership of these organizations.
Yes or no, did you lead an audit? Yes or no?
Veterans organizations that will help our veterans get every damn thing that they deserve because they signed on the dotted line.
What's going on, guys? We got to talk about this absurd hearing where Pete Hegseth is trying to get confirmed successfully as U.S. Secretary of Defense. Now, of course, the radical leftists are doing everything in their power to be obstructionists, okay? They're literally making things up and using phony, unproven allegations against him, saying all kinds of stuff, going in on his family. This was totally ridiculous. But before that happened, you had some protesters come out of the freaking woodwork, pretty much ruining the entire thing.
Veterans are committing suicide and are homeless. My father, a veteran, committed suicide, and you're sending money to
sit down. You're gonna sit down.
I'm leaving, man.
Bravo, take him. He's leaving.
He's going now.
He's leaving.
Well, put your hands off me.
You may continue. Members of the security.
$28 billion to Israel to slaughter children. That's a recruiting crisis.
Well, correction, they tried to ruin it and they tried to get their word out. I'm not really sure how much success you're going to get going into an audience, steaming, like I know they're just raging, just bursting with anger, ready to say something. Then all of a sudden they just start screaming and then they get carried out looking crazy. Not really sure how effective of a strategy that is. Like, hey man, start a YouTube channel or something and talk about these issues, expose them, like do something like more productive. But that's just my opinion. You know, we move differently. I use my brain, some people don't. But after this, when the hearing finally did get started, of course, the obstructionist radical leftists went in and did everything that they could. Now, there's a video that was already compiled here that I'm just gonna go ahead and play. I'm not gonna react to it. I've already seen it. But I wanna show you guys this video and show you some of the top and key moments. There's a lot of them, there's way more than this, but these are some of the key moments from this hearing.
A small handful of anonymous sources were allowed to drive a smear campaign, an agenda about me, because our left-wing media in America today, sadly, doesn't care about the truth. All they were out to do, Mr. Chairman, was to destroy me. And why do they want to destroy me? Because I'm a change agent and a threat to them, because Donald Trump was willing to choose me, to empower me, to bring the Defense Department back to what it really should be, which is warfighting.
Everything you've said in these public statements is politics. I don't want women. I don't want moms. What's wrong with a mom, by the way? Once you have babies, you therefore are no longer able to be lethal. I mean, you're basically saying women, after they have children, can't ever serve in the military in a combat role. It's a silly thing to say. So you say it was a political thing. You say it undermined us. Social engineering. I don't know why someone having to publicly say or not publicly say who they love is social engineering.
The senator from Virginia starts bringing up the fact that what if you showed up drunk to your job? How many senators have showed up drunk to vote at night? Have any of you guys asked them to step down and resign from their job? And don't tell me you haven't seen it, because I know you have. And then how many senators do you know have got a divorce before cheating on their wives? Did you ask them to step down? No, but it's for show. You guys make sure you make a big show and point out the hypocrisy because the man's made a mistake. And you want to sit there and say that he's not qualified? Give me a joke. I mean, it is so ridiculous that you guys hold yourself as this higher standard and you forget you got a big plank in your eye.
I have read multiple reports of your regularly being drunk at work, including by people who worked with you at Fox News. Do you know that being drunk at work is prohibited for service members under the UCMJ?
Senator, those
Yes
are
or no?
multiple false anonymous reports peddled by NBC
Do you
News
know that
run directly
drinking on the job
contradictory to
is
the dozens of men and women at
not
Fox News
contemplated
Channel who I work with
I'm
who
not
came
hearing
on
the
the
answer to my
record
question.
and said they
In your
never
opening
see
statement,
that.
Mr.
Also should
In
be at the Defense
other
Department.
words, you're quite sure that every general who serves should not go directly into the defense industry for 10 years. But you're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
You'll be the one.
Got him!
Gotcha, bitch!
I love watching Elizabeth Warren get made out to be a fool. Okay, he made her look stupid. And beyond that, you also got something that I didn't know. I was unaware that you had congressmen and women showing up drunk to cast votes. Apparently that's the thing. Showing up in the middle of the night, inebriated to cast votes. You know, call me naive, but you know, I learn something new every day, even in the process of trying to educate all you guys watching. I'm learning stuff along the way. Believe that. Now, MSDNC, okay, arm of the tyrannical left, okay, legacy news media, even their guys think that this was a failure for the Democrats and that it just looked like political theater.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was searching for what exactly the Democratic strategy was. I think they know as well as anybody that Joni Ernst is the key here. If Joni Ernst goes south on this nomination, it could spell trouble. If she backs him, I think it's very clear that he'll be the next Secretary of Defense. And they were clearly leaning in on that issue of women in the military. And the sort of problem for Democrats is he just readily conceded he's changed his views on this. He's changed his position. He no longer holds that view. And it made it hard for some of that to stick. Eventually, these hearings, they tend to devolve into a little bit of shirts and skins. And I think that actually works very well to Hegseth's favor. If Democrats are looking as though they are being performative and just trying to score points, frankly, against Donald Trump more than they are against Pete Hegseth, that makes it really easy for them to sort of rally together and come together. I would be very surprised at this point if he is not the next Secretary of Defense. Joni Ernst definitely was not too confrontational with him, and that may be the whole ballgame here. There are still a few people off this committee we need to think about, but he performed extraordinarily well, didn't back down, perhaps other than changing his position on women in the military, didn't back down from a lot of the more confrontational questioning, and I think that's exactly what a lot of Republicans wanted to see today.
Now, Scott Jennings of CNN, based Scott Jennings, red-pilled Jennings. This guy went in yet again talking about this issue and basically admits what we all should know. If you saw that hearing, you would definitely know that Pete Hegseth, they thought they were going to take this man down, and effectively Democrats made themselves look stupid. They got nuked. They got cooked because a lot of these most viral moments were in Hegseth's favor rather than the other way around.
Scott, what's your takeaway?
Well, in short, I think Pete Hegseth kicked their asses today. I mean, it wasn't even close. They didn't lay a glove on Hegseth. No mistakes, calm, cool, collected. I mean, before the thing even started, you had this like Code Pink, protester freak show trying to disrupt the hearing. That's the Democratic base, by the way, which probably explains why the Democrats on the committee acted in such a bizarre and unprofessional way. I was appalled at some of the way these senators handled themselves and some of the lines of questioning. I mean, Tim Kaine sounded like a sex pervert in his questioning of Pete Hegseth. Blumenthal, who lied about his service in Vietnam, questioning Hegseth's qualifications. You had Gillibrand, you had Warren, you had Hirono going on unhinged rants about things. Angus King obviously doesn't understand what it's like to fight terrorism. On and on and on. Hegseth was cool in the face of this unhinged questioning. They made him look good today. It would be difficult for a Republican to vote against Hegseth after the Democrats' unseemly mudslinging today.
Did you have any concern about the sort of lack of answers on some of the really important policy issues that he will have to face as defense secretary, or even information about treaties like ASEAN?
No, I don't have any concerns about anything he did today. I thought he specifically answered the questions he needed to. And some of this stuff is going to be set by the President of the United States and the President's National Security Council advisors and staff. I mean, he's not a one-man show. Secretary of Defense is important, but there's a whole national security team. I don't think Hegseth or anyone else from one of these kinds of positions should go to the table and act like they're going to unilaterally set policy. So I think he handled himself well today. I think Democrats had maybe built up in their mind that he was going to be a low performer. They lowered the bar, but he far jumped over any expectations they had set. And I just want to say one thing about Karen's comment. She made some great points. She raised some issues that Democrats obviously care about. These are important issues. I agree with her that maybe they did deserve a little more questioning today, which is why it's all the more puzzling why a Tim Kaine, who's worked for the Clintons or campaigned with him, who campaigned with Doug Emhoff, decided to spend 8 minutes.
As the vice presidential nominee of our country. So due respect, please.
So he's supported some of these folks, and then he decided to spend 8 minutes on the granular details of this man's sex life. I mean, it was embarrassing for the Democratic Party today, particularly coming from Kaine. So I think Karen has it right. They did not do a good job. They totally whiffed on this, and they made it more, not less likely, that Hegseth's going to be confirmed.
Well, it seemed as though that was the writing was on the wall, even going into this hearing.
I'm in 100% agreement with Scott here. There was no smoking gun, no new startling revelations, just a bunch of accusations. I mean, they're picking on the guy's family. They're like, he cheated on his wife. And then you got like a bunch of other people in Congress that also cheated on their wives and husbands, and they're on like their third and fourth marriages. That's kind of a weird thing to pick on. That's just the type of life that these people live, bringing up his kids. And I mean, they brought up so much ridiculous stuff. They're trying to say he hates women. Meanwhile, a bunch of women are trying to confirm a bunch of other women are supporting him. So yeah, I don't know what it is with the Democrats and trying to make it where everybody's like this monolith. Like if you're a woman, you gotta be pro-abortion, pro-kill babies. If you're a black dude, you gotta be pro everything that the Democrats say that they want, which doesn't make any sense. They try to treat everything monolithic when it serves them, but at other times, if somebody acts as though well, all black people are the same or all women are the same, then they want to freak out about that. These people make absolutely no sense and are pathetic, and this definitely did not work out in their favor. But let me know what you guys think. Was there anything about Hegseth that you're concerned about? Like, he is a little softer on his position as it relates to women in the military. However, I feel like the initial point always stands. I mean, I'm telling you right now, in terms of combat, if I could have a bunch of women surrounding me versus a bunch of dudes surrounding me in combat, especially big dudes, oh yeah. Hell, even big women, like I don't know if you guys have ever wrestled or anything with big women, their whole bone structure and body build is just not the same. Okay, the height isn't the key factor, it's mass, like how you're built. Very different for men and women. In Hegseth, he kind of softened on that a little bit, I guess, to kind of get through it and get confirmed, and then he could be, you know, whatever he wants to be, which is a person who I believe in. I believe in his military service. I respect him for that. And I feel like these people, these Democrats, these radical leftists were quite disgraceful to start off by saying, thank you for your service, but now let me denigrate you and talk ish about your family and say that you're unqualified and all of this other ridiculous stuff. Oh, you're a drunk and like, guys, this was totally absurd. And I think these people should be ashamed of themselves. But let me know what you guys think. Were you concerned about anything that Pete Hegseth had going on in his history that is ideally proven or even an allegation? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
Elizabeth Warren and her goons.
You're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
You'll be the one, let us just be clear, in charge of the generals?
They call her Pocahontas. Pocahontas, do you remember? Yes, I'm an Indian. Yes, she said, I'm an Indian. Why are you an Indian? You don't look like an Indian. No, my mother told me I have high cheekbones. Oh.